have a trust, you're going to need to have a scan of it to upload. Do not worry about getting photographs of your fingerprints because you're not going to be able to upload it. So once you've uploaded your trust, if you have one, if you don't sweat it. It's not important. But when we get to photographs, besides the photograph of yourself, the ATF wants a picture of the weapon and a picture, basically close-ups of any engraving on the gun. So on one side, you might have a logo for the manufacturer. The other side might be, the caliber, the serial number, the model number. And you have to provide those pictures. And essentially, what they're doing is verifying the serial number. They're also verifying that you're not taking a random rifle of yours and trying to make it an SBR, kind of doing it a sleazy way, meaning showing everybody that it's a short-barreled rifle when in fact it was manufactured as a regular rifle. Okay, so once you finish uploading those documents, so figure a picture for yourself is one. A picture of the rifle overall, or the pistol at this point, is the second picture. And then the third and fourth would be pictures of both sides with any engraving. So if you're taking a picture and it's got the serial number, model number, manufacturer, make sure those are legible. And the same thing is true for anything on the other side. Okay, now once you get through uploading those documents, you have to go through and verify information. And so it's going to throw up all of the information that you have before. Your first name, last name, city, state, zip code. And then it's going to potentially come up with any items that you did not answer. Like, let's say, for example, I decided to skip the questions like, am I under indictment for anything? And I'm going, well, if I don't answer it, I'm not lying. It won't let you not answer it. So it'll show an opportunity that where there's a mistake or something was blank, and then you have to go back and fix it. No big deal. Those are pretty straightforward. It tells you exactly where it is. It'll take you through, did you fill out all the chief law enforcement information? Did you answer all of the firearm-related questions? And this is a part where sometimes maybe you forgot to select whether it was inches, millimeters, and they actually give you a choice, by the way, in kilograms. I can imagine it would hurt getting shot with a 1 kilo slug, but that's neither here nor there. All right, so once you've verified all the information and all of the little red boxes are eliminated, you're ready to move on where you're going to go to certify. This is where you're going to need your PIN. It'll still have stuff for payment. Don't worry about it. You're not paying for anything. And of course, what happens, you're filling it out and you got called away or something. It's easy. Just save where you're at. You can go back in later. Using your account that you created, you'll have your login and your password. You'll be able to pick up exactly where you left off as long as you've hit the save button periodically. It's always a smart thing. Okay. And then, they've got a whole bunch of stuff at these when you get into it where they've got frequently asked questions, stuff like that. But most of it's straightforward. If your local gun dealer doesn't know or isn't willing to help you, by all means, drop me a text, a phone call, or an email. I'll walk you through it. Not a big deal. And so when you, let's say you saved it, you go back to the site and log in, you'll see a thing that shows like a plus sign and it'll say draft. And then when you click on that, it'll show the Form 1. And then what you'll also see is when you hit the Form 1 button, it'll eventually bring you to documents that you have in kind of like a spreadsheet. It'll show an ID number, who it was created by. So if you're making it for yourself, it'll show you. Internal control number, I don't think I've ever seen used for anything, so I haven't got a clue. And the date it was created. And then at the far right, you'll see actions. You'll see a sheet of paper with a red X. That'll delete the whole thing. I'd suggest you not do that. And the first button shows paper with a pencil on it. That will allow you to go back and edit the form. Okay, so I'd like to say it's super easy to use. Unfortunately, for lack of anything else, it's a little clunky and it can be a little slow, but frankly, it's not bad. Considering some of the other stuff I've seen from the government. All right, so things to take away with this is: one, you need the pictures. You need, if it's a trust, you need digitized images, meaning you got to scan it. You got to scan photographs. Now, once you fill out the document and you've hit certify, it's going to send you an email, which essentially is a cover sheet, and it tells you everything you need to include. If you are doing more than one weapon, each weapon has to go on its own Form 1. I know there's stuff that's there that says add a weapon. If you're doing a normal Form 1, yeah, I suppose you could. However, in this particular case, the ATF says one form for each gun. So now I am in approaching week 2 of the first stuff that went through for an SBR. And, I'll keep you updated when it does come through. Okay, now other final thoughts. And this came up today. I actually had a question about it, which is what happens when you die? Well, I did a thing on death and dying. Well, everyone does that. But in terms of your weapons, for starters, if it's a regular firearm, that's just part of your will. So I would just make sure it's listed. But any Class 3 items, SBR, silencers, machine guns, whatever, if they're in a trust, the people in the trust the trust will continue after you're dead. There is paperwork that they need to fill out, basically renaming a new trustee. And that paperwork is free. So you do not have to worry about the ATF coming in, knocking on the door and saying, "We understand Billy Bob has died. We would like all of those weapons, please." Frankly, they don't have the manpower for it. And second, deep down, I guess, what do they really care if you have them? They just want to make sure they're accounted for. Okay. That takes care of doing an E-Form 1 for the short-barreled rifle conversion from an AR pistol. Are there lawsuits going on right now? I think the ATF has got a suit against it, or Justice Department from the NRA. And I've got some interesting thoughts about the whole concept. However, the one thing I am kind of looking at things is, and keep in mind I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but getting free SBRs out of your AR or AK pistols is a gift. You're saving $200 a piece on the tax stamps, and you can do a hell of a lot more with it than you can just keeping it as a pistol. So you bought an expensive brace, stick it on a shelf somewhere. The advantage of the SBR is it's a rifle. You can put a 4-stock grip on it. You can do all kinds of other trick outs. You decide you want to make it a regular rifle for a little while and put a big barrel on it, you can go right ahead. Then you want to switch it back, go right ahead. because those things are considered temporary changes. So you have that opportunity. If you have any questions, however, or any comments or concerns, you can call or text to 919-808-6480. You can email me at info@quarterhorsearms.com. You can check out our website at quarterhorsearms.com. And I'm Alan with Quarter Horse Arms in Snow Camp, North Carolina. You guys be safe out there.